about time! Now everyone, since this is January and everything's been pretty low, I would enjoy 2,000 likes. It's a pretty fair like goal. Ad revenue is very low this month. Watch time is very low since YouTube's messing it up. So please, 1,000 likes, 2,000 likes. If we get 2,000 likes, I'll do something, I guess. So, hey, you better do it. We better meet that like goal, okay? Okay. So today for our Beyblade show, I should mention this is a collab with Cypress since I'll be able to support most of the claims that I'll be saying in this video and showcasing it. So, Hasbro Beyblade Burst Turbo. Funny enough, I was actually supposed to do a video on my thoughts on Turbo, but I was a little hesitant because I might still wait till the next wave comes to have a good idea. But I might still do that video. I was planning on doing a video on my thoughts on Wave 1 and Wave 2, and I guess if you want to still see that, comment in the comment section below. And as well, since, we are giving some exclusive info, I hope that this video will not get 1, not get 2, but 1,000 likes. And if we can hit that goal, I'll mention that at the end. It's for something very special. So, let's talk about Beyblade Burst Turbo. Hasbro releases products, but they always just come out of nowhere. There's no sort of like quick, maybe you'll see it in stock and then I can see, okay, the store's gonna get it pretty soon. No, it comes out of nowhere. It happened with, what was it, the Snake Pit, I'm pretty sure. It happened with basically Wave 1, and seems like it's gonna be happening again with the latest waves. We did do a lot of coverage on this stuff, and I do want to give my insight on this, so without any further ado, I'm gonna take it to the app. Okay, so now that I have the app open, as you can see, it's actually showing off the bays. This we did report on before. Now, it seems with the Turbo Switch Strike line, they'll do Beyblades like Orichalcum and Amaterios. And Orichalcum 03 did have the gimmicks for it, had the metal on the Octa. Amaterios A3 didn't have the metal on it, however, everything else was normal for that bay, but it was still in the Turbo line. So, with Genius J3, it had 8 and Zeta. And it seems that they'll be doing normal releases like Genius, Garuda, Regulus, etc. But they'll have a modified release of a product that will, I guess, will have a different name to it. So we have Genius J3, Regulus R3, where even though it's in the Turbo line, it doesn't have R4, which does confirm what I've been saying for a while, that 4 is just for the Slingshot stuff, and I guess 3 will be for the Switch Strike on the Turbo lineup, which in itself is very confusing for how this naming process has been done. I still don't know with definite proof or sort of like a conclusion that 4 will be all Slingshot stuff and 3 will still be in the Turbo line, but 3 will be normal releases, I guess, of this stuff. With Regulus, it has Destroy, it's a red layer, which I have actually showed in a battle, same with Genius, I haven't showed the other ones as of yet. But, in the topic of discussion with Zutron Z3, now when I first saw this, I was under the impression, before anything, oh, it's a glitch on the texture. Yeah, turns out, I was wrong.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
So, this bay is referred to as Asteroid Zutron Z3. Now, it's very notable by this, as you can see on the actual model, it's that there is no chip to be present. Instead, it seems that with the Turbo Switch Strike lineup, they might do modified releases of products, but they will give the actual gimmicks that they should have. Now, anything can change, obviously. The app's not 100% accurate, but it's been fairly close to a lot of information that was later proven to be true. So the very interesting with Asteroid Zutron is that in the app, if you look at this, look. If you look at this, it's a completely different skin, but it still has the same name. And you'll notice that the patterns is a little bit modified on the bay. So the chip's gone, and they basically gone with these little 3 lines on there. It's kind of weird since, while I am happy that this bait does very, very, very well, as we're able to see, look like it actually does have the working gimmick. And I wasn't too sure at first before anything else, since obviously this one, you couldn't really tell, and I thought maybe it'd be yellow. But now we can see that it does actually have a little weight balance gimmick it was originally supposed to have. However, they are going for modified formats, and of course, knowing Hasbro, just like Yielding, just like the 3-hit, just like Ultimate Reboot, we'll never probably get the drivers that we should have gotten. So it is paired up with a slightly golden-ish Revolve. It does come with 4 meteors, so at the very least, you're sort of able to combine your Zutron to actually make it actually complete. However, it is still a little bit weird how we don't get the full normal release. Zutron Z4 wasn't that bad. Achilles A4 is the worst offender. Actually, not even Achilles. Achilles and Sphinx were horrible. And, like, when it comes to these turbo bays, I guess people want to use the term laziness or whatever. It's like, if you really want to talk about that, you know what I mean? I still say Achilles is probably the worst, or at least Sphinx, one of the worst for when it comes to turbo. I think Zutron, even though it doesn't have the gimmicks, is not really that bad. So, what I am wondering is, as I'm going to be showing as I move on to Triptune T4, it seems we'll be getting this theme that sort of reminds me of the 2-packs that did the X theme, whereas like Dark X, Nepturius, and whatever. It seems they'll have a specific name, and they'll modify the bay to sort of match that theme, but we'll still probably get the gimmick for it. But Triptune is very interesting because we'll be getting another release of Triptune T4, quote unquote, but it is going to be referred to as T3 this time. So here is Spiral Triptune T4. So we can see it comes with 8 bump and edge. So we already knew this for a while now, that we'd be getting another release, and I was confused by this myself. It does seem like Triptune is being modified, so look, instead of having the little bulky layer, you have no chip in the middle, and it looks like they sort of filled in the gap. Now that I'm looking at it, it seems they've kept sort of like the mold of it. Actually, not really. They sort of kind of kept the same mold, but a little bit different. But with Triptune, I can't say with 100% certainty that it's going to be the exact thing like the app. I mostly just mean with how shiny it is, whatever. But I'm very, very, very sure that this will have the gimmick it's supposed to have. I'm very sure by that. Now, what I mean by this is if you look at how it looks like in the app, and you look like how it actually looks like in the Turbo, the original one for the model, since obviously I do have an actual Triptune, which I will show, you can see how it has the little red parts there, and it's just like, it's just a little bold thing there. It's not actually what the gimmick's supposed to be. But when you actually look at the modified Spiral Triptune T3, you'll notice that it actually is filled in this time, and you can actually see that it very well does look like it has the gimmick. Because you can see there's black on the bottom as well. With this red one, you just see the red on the top. I am very sure that this Spiral Triptune T4 is going to have its actual gimmick. Even if it doesn't have the exact same material, whatever they used for the Triptune, and the original Screw Trident, I'm very confident with this. So what this does mean is that I believe personally that Hasbro is going very experimental. So often people compare this to Metal Fury, and I do agree to a certain extent, except instead of there just being no gimmicks for what the base should have had, it's sort of just no metal in the turbo base. But now it seems like with this Switch Strike lineup, they'll give us the normal gimmicks, however it might be slightly modified. Now this doesn't mean for every single bait it's going to be like that, but I'm very safe to assume that Kerbeus K4, which was, let's be honest now, a little bit of a joke, will most likely be modified and call it Kerbeus K3. It still has the messed up name with it being called Hazard, even though it should be called Guardian, as the Tech Ratana name was like that. But it seems bays like Genius are going to be, we might get normal releases where it's like Genius and Garuda and Regulus, but we might also have modified releases, which I'm not too sure of how that's going to work, because now my suspicion, and I feel like this is with certainty now, is that we might get normal releases of these bays, but labeled as A3 instead of 4. So I'm not saying which metal, that is something I can't confirm, but I am guessing most likely we will get normal releases for stuff like Extend, Yard, Volcanic. Like I said before, it was a little bit weird how they had a -S right there, since they could have obviously called it under some different name and made something up. But you're noticing now that Hasbro probably did have this idea ahead of time, and I guess that's how it's going to be working. We will see more single packs, and I guess sort of amended bays for their very, very questionable and poor design. I'm very sure that bays like Treptune, as I'm holding right now in my hand, will be normal. However, I do think even if we do get a normal release for Achilles, Valtryek, Fornius, I don't think it'll have the metal. They might do another whatever series they might do, like Hyperblades probably. Since Amaterios A3 has all the gimmicks it should have, right? Except there's no metal on it. It still has this little blade thing on there. It has the right parts for arrow, angle, and anchor, but hopefully we do eventually get a normal release. This could also potentially mean for a lot of other bays like Rocktavor R4, where it didn't even have the gimmicks for it. We could be seeing modified re-releases for bays. I'm not too sure how I feel about that. I honestly prefer it if we did get the normal release, but at the end of the day, we still are sort of getting the normal release of a bay, so it's not too bad. Of course, I will give more updates as time goes on. I still have a few bays saved up, obviously. That's why in the teaser for Ogre 04, I did say there's stay tuned for more. And I did show off the bays, I just wanted to put random parts on it. But, you know, since a lot of people pointed out, and I got a few others too on the side, Genius and Regulus, a lot of people have been asking, so we have a physical product and everything. So I guess if this video gets to 1,000 likes, we'll post more info that will be coming very soon, and we'll give an update for more QR codes. Stay tuned, obviously, for more. There is an app update that's going to be coming very soon. So, as usual, me and Cypress, as we usually collab, we will make sure to give you updates on that. Of course, check out Cypress. He has been a huge help in making sure that I'm able to explain a lot of this stuff and deliver it to you. Make sure to comment what are your thoughts on this stuff, and make sure to actually tell me if you prefer a modified release of a bay or it has all the normal gimmicks, or you would rather wait and potentially probably have to spend more money to get just the normal, regular, standard release. I'm curious to know your thoughts in the comment section below. Turbo is very interesting on how they're handling this stuff. For some for worst, for some for better. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.